Hello guys and welcome to the BBOL Season 7 Junior League Review slash look slash we're going to have a look and judge them for no reason slash I don't know. We're doing a thing, right? We're going to have a look at all the teams. I'm going to give my opinion on just how I feel the teams are. I will rank them out of 10, but I've never won a World Series. I've went from the Little League to the SDL, now in the Junior League. I'm not one of these regular HLers, so take everything I say and take my weight into a pinch of salt. Don't get upset about them, because even though people have asked for them, I know somebody's going to. It's fine, but also don't get upset if I then don't care, because I warned you. I said, you know, I'll review it and I'll be fair, and that's all I can do. So I'm ready to get started. I don't know if you guys are. Starting at the top, Will F, Henry Deshawn, Courtney Valentino, Debbie Nagasawa, Yvonne Carter, Nikki Winston, Billy and Marky, Chad, and Carlos Ocampos. I have already said a couple of days previously to this, I'm going to turn the music down ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, I said a couple of days prior to this that I thought Will's team was really strong, and I still do think it's really strong. Henry is guaranteed to get you runs throughout the season. He will just get runs automatically, because if he doesn't send it home, he's just going to get on the bases and steal. So it is Henry. So you've probably got about 3-4 wins off Henry alone. Courtney, the stamina is a little bit of an issue, but not enough that I think it's huge. She is a base runner. For me, a base runner classifies as someone who has power and has enough speed and kind of ignores the defensive side. Courtney defensively is not fantastic, but that's not her job. Her job's just to get along the bases, right? So Courtney is about as solid as a base runner it gets. Debbie can do a little bit of everything. I guess she's a base runner, but I'd say she's probably more power leaning with that 95 contact. But they're three incredibly solid chances, right? Incredibly solid options. Yvonne, good all-rounder. There's nothing wrong with Yvonne at all. Nikki, I assume is going to be a catcher unless it's Chad, but I wouldn't have thought so. Nikki's Nikki. You'll get a couple of home runs out of him. Not a huge amount. 87's a kind of awkward point, but it's enough power that people are going to consider what they want to do with Nikki, right? Usually you'd walk him because he's a 4-speed, but the options there, right? It depends how many people's on base. It depends, it depends on a couple of things. Marky and Billy are just a really good team. Buffed Marky, 57 power. Do I care? It's enough to get a decent enough shot off with that contact. 6 speed. This is why you shouldn't eat, by the way, before you make these, because I know I have to talk constantly, so I'm going to be choking and dying, so ignore me. But yeah, all around, Marky's just really good. Billy always really annoys me, because if there's ever a thing for saying why the height stat is so ridiculously overpowered, it's nerfed Billy, because all her other stats are atrocious. See, she has 30 coordination, and she's a first baseman, but it doesn't matter, because 5 height. It's like the other stats just don't matter anymore. Once you hit that 5 height, it's unreal. But hey, it is what it is, so I can't be mad at that pick at all. They're also great. Chad Corporal, I really like Colleen Clinker, so I really like the Chad pick here in round 8. If I'm going by that, I'll go by what I said a couple of days ago, and I think that's an 8, could be an 8.5 all day long. That's a really good team, really solid. The problem, he wavered Felix for Carlos. I don't know why. Will, you'll have to tell me why. I don't get it. Is it the speed? Because I mean, that's cool and all, but he hasn't got enough to really be a line driver. So maybe if you get a lucky grounder out of him, maybe, but defensively he's not great at all. The 0 arm means let's be honest, you have to have him as an infielder, right? Because 60, 78, 79 for the coordination, attention, and aggression. So you need to have him in the infield. You can't have him in the outfield. 28i, it's not going to happen. If you have him in the infield, you can't put him at third, because he's got no arm. So you can't put him at third. Obviously, you're not going to put him at first, because you've got Billy. So you can put him at second. Generally, bad players go there anyway in second. That's kind of where you hide them. But that's still a 0 arm. Like, your chances of getting a double with Carlos Ocampos at second, unless you're passing to the first to get the first baseman out, then passing back to your pitcher, and then passing to second, but you're asking a lot. I can't explain. I wouldn't be so mad at this 9th round pick if I go over to another page here. If I go to the waivers, yeah, you waived Felix Grant. Felix is really good. I feel like Felix is one of the stronger 9th rounders. Like, let me have a look. Let's have a look at the actual stats here. Where's Felix gone? You want up here, yeah? Felix. Oh my God, Felix is dead. What has happened here? I guess they've not available them, so nobody thinks they can waiver with them. I assume so. But anyway, Felix's stats are really good all round. So I don't really... I don't get that pick. So, it was an 8.5. I'm not going to give it like a 7, because that's a little bit unfair. It's a 7.5. It's a 7.5. I do think I do think I can be harsh enough to take away a point on that pick alone, because he's took away all your double opportunity. So, and I don't think offensively that 6 speed is really going to do a whole lot. So let's go for that. I'm going to go 7.5. Not bad by any stretch, and the rest of the team is really solid. But that 9th round, it was you shot yourself in the foot, I think. But we'll see. I'll say stuff like that. He'll end up scoring, like he'll end up hitting a huge grounder that'll end up getting ennui from 3rd to home, and we'll end up winning the World Series because Carlos hit a grounder. That's what'll happen. But no, in my luck. But yeah, I don't see it. Right, next, Russell, Julian Sullivan. I mean, that's just gross, isn't it? I mean, that's 2 9 speeds. That's 2 players who are really good at what they do anyway. I mean, if you start with Sully, get Sully on base. That won't be difficult to do. Assuming he's going for somewhere like... I actually prefer cement over dirt, but that's just me. Wherever he goes, either would be fine. And then Julie as second. You can steal with her. I mean, not steal. You can get the walk, but you're not going to walk Julie. I mean, you can. It's that choice, right? Do you walk Julie, or do you just take your chance with a bat? I personally, I'm probably taking my chance with a bat, especially with Sully being already at first. You're going to have to force. Julie's going to be forced to swing. You're going to have to pitch through Julie, which is really strong. After Julie, Parker. And then you've got people, really good arms, Trent, Tony, Serena. Randolph is fine. I can't say anything about... I can't, honestly, say anything bad about Randolph when I've got Rose Flugel as my 9th. So I can't really bag him for picking a 3 speed, can I? So Randolph is a weird one. In the outfield, incredibly strong, but unfortunately he's a 3 speed, so he's not going to get to anything. So it's going to be interesting where Randolph is going to go. Because you can put him in the outfield, but 1, he's too slow. And 2, if he's on cement or dirt or tin can, if a grounder goes Randolph's way, he's not getting to that grounder. Not with a bounce. Not in a million years. With 3 speed. So I don't know. Serena, I'm going to assume, is his catcher. He has Angela as the pitching option. I'd be very careful with grounders if I was Russell. I'm thinking, would I consider, and this sounds absolutely crazy because he's got 3 4 speeds and a 3 speed. Would I go Sandy? He's got enough power that he can really send it home. Angela, Parker, Julie, Libby. And he's got the big arms in Tony, Trent, and Serena. Julie, obviously, his arm is fine too. I mean, slow is slow, but if you get out of the park, the game doesn't really care how slow you are. It's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one. I think I'll give this... There's no glaring. Julian Sully gets it a 7 on its own. Libby, Trent, I mean some big arms. The speed is scary. Alright, a little boring, but... Whoops. Russell's getting 7.52. It could be an 8. It could be an 8, but the speed scares me a little bit. Right, Isaiah, Jay Green, Mark McGuire, Jeff Bagwell, Ivan Rodriguez, Dante Robinson, Stephanie Morgan, Joella Minotti, Reese Worthington, Jay Mahoney. Right. There's a lot of hit power here. The arm is fine. The stats are fine. He's got plenty of pitching options. I quite like this. I quite like this. This isn't bad at all. My only weakness I can see at the moment is who's your catcher. Obviously, it's probably Ivan. Because I imagine Jay's pitching. If Jay's not pitching, it's going to be Ivan, Wendy, which is fine. But that means Jeff's your catcher, which is also fine. But does that feel like a bit of a waste? I feel like Jeff is so useful that you could definitely do something with Jeff out in the field or in the infield rather than having a catcher. I don't like my catchers being too early because I feel like it's a waste of a pick. There's a lot of Jeff stats that he's just not going to use when he's on defense, when he's a catcher. Maybe I would try and trade Reese so I can get Jeff out there and try to trade Reese for a catcher. But I know arm is premium, so trying to get a trade for someone with really good arm, especially so late, it's tough. But Reese is actually a pretty solid outfielder, so you've got some pull power too if you did want to go for a trade like that. But I don't think this team is bad, not by any stretch. This team is actually really solid. I don't like Dante. I think Dante is atrocious, but personal opinion, right? You might like Dante. Stephanie Morgan's fine. Joella's fine. She'll get you some home runs throughout the season. Mark is a monster in the little league. In the junior league, I'm not so sure, because he's just going to get walked. But that's where Bags comes in. And you've got Jerry and you've got Joella. Damn, I really don't want to do 3 7.5s in a war, but I feel like it's fine, it's good, but there's nothing that stands out as like, oh, this team's incredible. Yeah. Sorry, I know this is boring. I know it's very boring if I just do 7.5s, but I think it's fair. I honestly think it's fair. I wish I could go higher, and I wish I could go even going lower, but I don't think it justifies a 7. And I think it's just lacking in that arm area. And Jeff's being used as a catcher. And to me, that just keeps it out of the 8. Right, Nick, Pete, Star, Clanky, Earl, Timmy, just say, I like this. I very much like this. Oh, you sly dog. I know what he's done. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I like what he's going for here. So, obviously, Pete and Star are Pete and Star. The speed goes crazy. He's got Timmy, he's got Jacinda, he's got Heather Quinn. Something about all of those is they all have 100 contact. Now, the reason why that matters is because they're going to make the most out of that 54, 54, 68. They are going to be line drivers simply used to get Star and Pete over the bases. And defensively, the 3 of them are actually pretty solid. Timmy maybe he's a little bit shaky, but I like Unger. I think Unger's good. Earl, a pitcher. I'm not a huge fan of Earl and Grace, but again, doesn't mean they're not good. It's just a preference. Clanky, really solid line driver too, with good arm. He's I mean, 62 arm, 62 arm. It's not terrible. Stick star out. Stick star out in the outfield. Yeah. Okay. I know what we're doing here. I like this. The contact and literally making a contact team just to support Pete and Star to get them around the bases. I mean, it's solid. It's tried and tested. I like that. Yeah, I like this team very much. Speed's not atrocious. Heather's a 4-speed. Don't care. The rest of the stats more than make up for that, in my opinion. I think Nick... I actually really like what Nick's doing. 8.5. 8.5 for Nick, I think. I really like... It's really simple. It's really simple backyard. Have a really fast player, and then have loads of people that can line drive enough that they can just get around the bases. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Right, next. Cap. Leah, Maynard, Sally, Veronica, Adam Van Doren. Donald, Cindy, Paco, 4. Right. 4, stick 4 catcher. Can't be mad at that at all. Paco, Cindy is a good outfielder. Donald is fine. Adam is fine. Veronica is fine. There's a lot of grounder potential here. Veronica, Sally can get them out. She's probably not going to, but she can. Defensively, Sally is pretty strong. I'm not going to lie. Just have to keep an eye on that aggression. Maynard is great at getting across the bases too. Maynard is the grounder king. And then Leah's Leah. I can't say anything particularly wrong with this. Adam I like, Donald I like, Cindy I like, Paco I like. Veronica's fine. Yeah, I like this team too. This is really solid. And I think this follows a very similar type of deal that Nick's does. The only difference I feel is... Let me have a little look at Nick's again. Nick's is a bit more defensively solid, whereas I feel like Cap's is more offensively leaning. For what they're both trying to do the same thing, but I feel like Cap's is more offensive lean, and Nick's is more defensive lean. Which I'm not mad at. I think I prefer the defensive lean for what we're trying to do here, but this is still really solid. I think it's an 8. It's an 8. I'll give that an 8. I think that is very reasonable. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Stern, Lindsay, Zoe, Barbara, Holly, Ezra, Shane, Brett, Kurt, Chucky. Alright, so stick Kurt at catcher. Chucky can go... Just stick him on second base. Stick Brett on outfield. Shane... He's a bit of a base runner too, isn't he? You could stick him on... Where do you put Shane? Shane's a weird one. I don't know if I like Shane's spread. Ezra's solid enough. Holly's fine. Barbara and Zoe are about as vanilla as it comes. And Lindsay's Lindsay. I'd say the first 5 picks... I mean, Lindsay's just good anyway. She's the first rounder, right? They're all good in their own way, right? But I feel like the first 5 picks are all very safe. Zoe and Barbara and Ezra are all very vanilla. Good arm, enough speed to get them there, enough power to get them there. Defensively, the eye and the coordination is there. These are players that I'd love to have Barbara, because it's just Cal without the buff. It's safe, but that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really solid. Shane scares me. I'm not going to lie. Shane concerns me a little bit. He's a base runner, but it might be a little bit too little power, unless he's ground doing. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down. Not too far, don't worry. It's not bad by any stretch. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly reasonable team. But I think 7.5 is very reasonable. The thing we need to remember is, right, this is the junior league, so nobody's gonna have a bad team. It's not a thing. Nobody's gonna have a bad team. Everyone in this league knows what they're doing. So if anyone here gets a 6 or below, I will be very surprised. Right, Explorers. Right, Cheryl, Alex, Chipper, Gwen, Uma, Wade, Jason, Tracy, Jose. Jose I actually like. Jose's fine. For the same reason why I like Rose. She can get people across the bases. He can get people across the bases. But Jose and Randolph have that same issue where they need to get there. The reason why I like Rose is because she's catcher. She doesn't really need to go that far. It's fine. There's a good spread of power in this team too. Everyone has enough power to get where they need to go. Jason's 4-speed. He's first base. I feel like 4-speeds are forgivable on first base. Tracy is the big arm catcher. A-Rod and Chipper are very vanilla picks, like what I said about Stern. But again, that's not a bad thing. Gwen can base one if she needs to. And Cheryl, Sammy Sosa. I like this. I like this team too. The stamina's fine. Chipper will gas, but if you're careful where you're running, which it's Junior League, so I imagine everyone knows when it's time to run. I think I'm flirting with a 7.5, but I think it's slightly over, I think. I'll give Explorer Z's team an 8. Because I feel like even though it is quite safe, there's nothing stand out here that makes me go, ugh. This all seems pretty solid for what we're trying to go with here. Actually, it's really solid. I'll leave it at an 8. I'm flirting with 8.5 a little bit, but I think it's an 8. We'll go with that. Right, Char. Sosa, Benson, LeBron. Jesus Christ. Okay. Sosa, Benson, LeBrenner, Wing, Dimitri, Raquel, Randy, Ronnie, Esmeralda. Well, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of power. Right, Esmeralda, catcher. Basically doing what Rose is doing, only sacrificing that extra arm for the power. Ronnie's fine. Where are you putting Ronnie? Unless you're putting Esmeralda in the outfield and you're putting Ronnie at catcher. I don't know how happy I'd be. I don't know how confident I'd be with Ronnie at catcher. But then again, I'm not exactly sure how confident I'd be with Ronnie anywhere. So Randy, Raquel, Dimitri. I mean Dimitri and Raquel. Wing can grounder, but he's pitcher. He's going to be pitching. Wing's really good. Dimitri and Raquel are fine. I'm going to be perfectly honest though. I don't like Dimitri. I don't like Dimitri's skill set. I guess we can put him in that base running area, but for round 5, I feel like there's much better players. Let me have a quick look, because round 5. Let's have a look at where Dimitri is. He's up here somewhere. There he is. Yeah, I mean Jorge, Jeremy, Jillian. I feel like all better than Dimitri. Carlos and Ingrid. Again, this is all preference, right? If Char likes Dimitri, Char knows what he's doing. If Char likes Dimitri, he likes Dimitri. But yeah, I mean, I'd take an Ungro or a Uchido over Dimitri. Cal Cullen's fine. It's just Tony Gwynn. I assume. Actually, I think I'd put Dimitri at first. I feel like Raquel's more useful elsewhere. The arm is fine. Insane amount of power. This team's really good. This team's really good. I don't know if I'm getting it. I don't know if I'm giving it an 8.5 or I'm giving it an 8. I want to give it an 8. I want to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because me giving it an 8 is basically off the fact that I don't like Dimitri and I'm not particularly interested in Wani. But that's a preference thing, so I feel like I can't include that as a part of the score. 8.5. Yeah. Right, Bbol, Jose, Vlad, Amanda Hellerman, Alexis Weiss, Gillian Payne, Derek McCarthy, Murray Goldman, Erwin Howis, and Michiko Adachi. Okay, so Michiko, honestly, I'd almost consider... Oh god, look at Erwin Howis's defensive stats. Oh my god, Erwin. Why? Okay. You're not an 8th rounder. That is atrocious. I know you're supposed to be a pitcher, right? I get it, but oh my god. She's a pitcher with 5 attention. Murray's Murray. Derek's fine. You have a lot of pitchers. Jesus Christ. Alexis is good. Again, defensively, a little bit shaky. Derek's defensively a little bit... There's a lot of defensively shaky people in this team. Oh, I'm a little bit scared about this one. Jose is fine. Vlad is fine. Amanda, obviously one of the best pitchers in the game. That's defensively, that is so shaky though. Your average coordination is what, 47? $71, $61, $60, $56, $78. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look past how defensively shaky this team could be, but it's tough. It's really tough. I'm not fully familiar with Bbowl's game, so he might be good enough that he can kind of do everything manually. He might have to. But also, the game mechanics have to be taken into account, and he's going to drop a lot of balls. And there's a lot of speed teams in this league. Yeah, it feels mean. And this is why I don't like doing rankings, because Bbol is not one of the guys who asked for a ranking video, right? But I'm going to give it a 6.5. I just defensively, I don't see it. If he goes on dirt or cement or anywhere where there's no speed penalty, I look forward to him beating me, by the way, in the season, because you know that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to give that a 6.5. Right, DLW, next up, Chico, Faye, hi Chico, Randy, Blakely, hi Blakely, Blue Roof, Miley, Van. Okay, so, there's a lot of arm. Oh my god, there's a lot of arm. 94, 188. I know it's Randy Johnson arm, but it's still a lot of arm. Blakely, Morelli, Vanderhook, Terry can send it home, Isabella to send it home. There's kind of a lot of power too. Although I say the power's not insane, but where there is a lot of power is in all the right places. The speed's a little shaky. Especially if you intend on walking with Chico, because then technically Chico is your only person who is really going to get around the bases super fast. Roof can. But Roof's one of those that... Well, she's not going to walk. Nobody's going to walk Roof, so she needs to get there. She's hit the ball first, and it needs to not roll somewhere obvious. I like this team. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little slow. He's got 5 height, 3 height, 4 height. Here's a question: Who's your first baseman? It can't be Faye, because that's a waste. It can't be Blakely, because I feel like that's a waste. I mean, nah, it can be Blakely. Who's your infielders? This one's confused me a little bit. I don't know what I think about this one. It's fine. I'm a little concerned about your infield options, but the power's there and the arm is there. I love everything else apart from your infield, which scares me a little bit. But I'll give it. I'll go back to the 7.5. I'm fine with that. Right. ASD. This video is going to end up being over an hour long, I've just realised. Which is fine. I'll timestamp it. Right, ASD up next. Griffey, Gonzalez, Jones, Sean, Jorge Garcia, Vicky Kawaguchi, Nan Porter, Judy Brunza, Matthew La Cruz. Vicky's fine. Assuming Nan is going to be your catcher. It's not a huge amount of arm, is it? It's an average. The thing is, it's not a huge amount of arm, but it is an average, and the average isn't terrible. They're all people who are not... None of them here are bad arms. They're all fine arms. And then Nan, who's going to be catcher. I assume you're... hang on. Whoa. Hang on a minute. Who's your pitcher? Sean? Because it can't be Nan, because Nan's going catcher. Because otherwise you haven't got a catcher. Unless it's Juan Gonzalez, but that's an even bigger waste than Jeff. Who are you pitching with? Judy? Slow ball him to death? I do it. Interesting. Let me have a quick look at the trades. No, no trades. You don't have a catcher. Jorge? No, you see, you can't use Jorge. A lot of height, though. I have noticed. You've got, what? 4 threes and a 4. I'm going to give this a 7. But ASD isn't stupid, right? All these coaches know what they're doing. So I want ASD to let me know, is Nan your pitcher or your catcher? Because if she's your pitcher, who are you putting to catch? And if she's your catcher, who are you pitching with? Interesting. I'll give it a 7 for now. Maybe I'm missing something. Right, JTS. I am not familiar with JTS's game at all. Tonya Lesko, Jane Davis, Nomad Garcia Power, Stan Olafson, Frankie Holly, Lawan, Gary, George, Linda. Linda as a 9th rounder is absolutely fine. I have no issues with Linda whatsoever. George is fine for what he does. Just stick him in the outfield. He'll be fine. Gary has that power. Lawan has that speed. I don't like Lawan, but I imagine Lawan's going to be your pitcher. I can't stand Lawan as a pitcher, but again, this isn't my team, so that's not an issue, is it? So if you like using Lawan, okay, good, you've got a pitcher. Frankie, Stan and Noma was also about as vanilla as it gets with that balance, but not bad at all. Stan's great and Noma is even better. Jane for the power is fine. Just going to be careful on that defense because you are sacrificing a lot of defense for having that type of power player that early. And then Tonya, who's fine. This is a pretty standard team. There's nothing that really speaks out to me as being an issue. At the same time, there's nothing that stands out for me as being overly excellent. These are all just pretty balanced. Nearly all these teams are just good, balanced teams. It's the junior league, so it's just the way it's going to be. Like I said, if I see anyone with less than a 6, I'll be very surprised. Matt, who I think is probably one of the ones that could be favourite to win the entire thing. Susan, Claudia, Sophie, Lance, Betty, I'll come back to you. Quick pause. Okay, we're back. So, Matt 95, Susan Gore, Claudia Valletta, Sophie Meyer, Lance Lambert, Fernando Diaz, Shirley Basanti, Vic Souffle, Betty Houston, Johnny Omar. Johnny's absolutely fine. Round that Linda Potter type player is absolutely fine. Vic's fine. Betty's fine. Picture-wise, Diaz, I imagine. Is this another player that doesn't have a catcher? Am I missing something? I mean, Vic can. But then who's your outfield? Sophie, Claudia, Zoe. But then who's your infield? Right. Look at the bottom six. Right. 50 coordination, 40 coordination, 10 coordination, 60 coordination. They just don't seem like infielders. So they're either going catcher or they're going in the infield. I mean, or they're going in the outfield. Johnny can't go in the outfield. I said Matt was the favourite to win it all. Oh, yeah, he was one of the favourites to win it all. But I just don't see it with this team. I'm trying. I'm trying really hard to understand. But he's got a lot of power. Nah. I can't. I can't. Damn. It's not atrocious. None of the teams are atrocious. Can't stress that enough. But this is a 6.5. I can't give it more than a 6.5. It's fine. It's usable. But I just think it's missing. It doesn't know what it wants to be. And that scares me a little bit. Yeah. I just think I'm not understanding that team. That's why I think it is. Because Matt knows what he's doing. So I'm just not understanding it. It's got nothing to do with his team. I'm probably just not understanding it. But I can't give him on the 6.5. Perky, Cal, Kay, Grace, Jeremy, Tony, Rosanna, Perry, Butch, Xena, Kay and Cal. Good vanilla picks. Here's an issue with Perky's team, right? He's picked Cal. Cal has a stam buff. Look at the stamina on his team. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. Right, so I'd say he doesn't need a stam buff because he has so much stamina. However, I do also understand that if he gets plus 10 on stamina, that puts Grace in that pitches with 100 stamina area. And also it'll get Perry and Butch. Again, this team isn't bad. I think this team is better than Matt's and Bale's. But it's also not that scary. Xena's kind of the only big hitter. Perry can, obviously. But because Perry's a 4 speed, I'm just walking you. Seven? Nah. He doesn't have a lot of arm either. One of these will have to go catcher. We're going to assume Butch is going catcher. Because you can't put K at catch. It's a waste. And then the rest of the arm's fine, but it's not. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. I think if Perky could trade Cal, I know Grace, I know 100 Stam, I know. But see, Cal's not even the problem, though. That's the thing. He's just not. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. I feel like that's fair. I'll give it a 7. Balloon. Now, Balloon is my favourite to win the Junior League this year. Season. I assume we'll have more than one a year. I hope We have more than one a year. Right, Balloon, Marilyn McDonald, Barry Larkin, Brenda, Francesca Whitaker, Omar, Raphael Hendricks, Ricky Johnson, Vincent Yeah, I love this team. That's absolutely fantastic. So Jeter, Barry, two of the best defensive players in the game. Brenda is also fantastic. Francesca is all round really good. Omar Stefano is a really good pitcher. Raphael is that power, little bit defensive, like a little bit of a defensive liability, but with that front four, I don't care, because the amount of defense in that top four is actually insane. Ricky at first base. I'm not a huge Ricky fan, but again, Ricky here kind of works the same as Nerf Billy. I don't care, but whereas Billy is literally just 5 height, at least Ricky does have 90 coordination. I'm gonna cough. Dying. Vincent's fine. Law was fine. Perhaps a little bit lacking. Again, who are you pitching with? I'm pitching. Who are you catching with? Vincent? I mean, 84 is not bad. I can't talk too much because I have Walls. Walls is 80 so Walls can hit though. I really like this team though. This team is so well rounded. It's a little lacking in power, but he's not going for power. This top four tells me straight away you are not going for power. You're going to just get around that base nice and slow. You're going to play the same as how I'm going to play. I'm not going for power. Ahmed and Amir were there just because Ahmed I can just stick at first. They're just there for the flavour more than anything else. $8.5. I'm giving it an 8.5. I really like that. I think Chow and Bloom are cooking right now. Right. Oh, Nick as well. Right. K1D. It's Kid. I always call him K1D. Keisha, Davey, Mikey, Christina, Mike, Ingrid, Horace, Olive. I really like Horace. Bobby at 9th round is not bad at all. Olive. Mikey, I'm going to assume at catcher. Defensively, I'm seeing some issues. A lot of power, though. Like, as an average, there's a lot of power on this team. Defensively, look at the eyes. That is not a lot of eye. Whoever you're putting outfield, let's say Mikey goes catcher. You've got Mike and Bobby are the only other ones with decent eye, so they could go outfield. Problem is, 4 speed, very little arm. So I don't really see how that's going to work. Obviously, eye's a funny one because if you're really skilled as a player, eye isn't as important because you can usually just kind of figure out where the ball's going to be. But I don't know. The funny thing with this one is I don't like Keisha. I've said this and people say I'm absolutely crazy. I don't think Keisha is consistent. Every time I've used Keisha, she has flopped like nobody's business. The amount of time she drops a ball, mainly because of the eye, which kind of explains it, because maybe that's just because I'm not very good at telling where the ball goes. Maybe that's just what it is. But yeah, I don't like Keisha. These are all players that are fine, but not amazing, apart from Horace, who I really like. 7? Yeah, we're going to go 7. We're going to go 7. Right, Mike. Jeter, Marcellus, Jason, Frank, Jim, Tanya, Annie, Olga, Ibsen. Right. These have some of my players I really like. I love Jim. I think Jim's fantastic. I think Uchida is really good. I think Olga is good at what she does, which is just get a grounder and just get over to base. And she has enough coordination to her that you can put her on second and she will catch line drives. Andre's funny because I'm not entirely sure where you put Andre. I would almost suggest putting Andre at catcher. Which 74 isn't a lot, but it's enough that you can still use them for most people. Because I feel like Jim's just more useful elsewhere. In this team. See, if you put Olgo at second, where are you putting Marcellus? I mean, Marcellus can infield. I guess. I'm not mad at this team. My issue with this team seems to be this feels like a less potent version of this. $7.5? Hang on. Nah, Jeter, Jason is fine. Marcellus is a good hitter. Frank, Jim, nah, I can't. I've got to give it. It's not an 8, though, is it? No, it's not an 8. It's 7.5. 7.5. Arbitrary number after arbitrary number. Wait, BBB. Lou Bell, Dawn, Marty, Sonia. Oh, I like this. Hang on a minute. Uh-oh. Right. Not a lot of power, but this is not a power team. And it's not supposed to be a power team. Not by any stretch. This is a really good line drive, get around the bases team. Oh my god, it's strong. Oh. I don't regret for a second trading Maya and Emily for the Carnes, because the Carnes is definitely what I feel like I needed at the time, and I still stand by that trade, and I think it's a perfectly good trade. But that doesn't mean that BBB didn't get an absolutely fantastic deal. I said when I did that trade, BBB gets the better half of that deal, because they are both absolutely disgusting. The only issue with Mayu and Emily, of course, is that they will stam out, but they have enough power in the line drives that they should get to bases pretty comfortably with good enough hits. Who's your catcher? Maya? No. I assume he's pitching with Marty. Don can do a little bit of pitching too, but I assume it's Marty. Yeah, this is great. I really like this. It's an 8. It's an 8.5. It might be a 9. This is the best team I've seen so far, I think. Wait, hang on. Let me have another look at Bloom's team. Yeah. This is the best team I've seen so far. I love this team. This is like a team that I feel like if I was using this team, I could have a 10-4. Because this is perfect for how I play. And I've versed Ben a couple of times, and he also has a style very similar to mine. Screw it. Let's get a 9. That's the best team I've seen so far. It is what it is. Right, Siren, Zenon, Jessica, Mandy, Pam, Molly, Liz, Scotty Waff, Lorelei, Daniel. Right, Scotty obviously stick at catcher. Lorelei in the outfield. Pamela in the outfield. This is concerning. That's a lot of late round stamina drain. If Simon can get ahead early, it's fine. But if he doesn't score early, he's got a lot of paperweight here. Zenon will score for fun. Jessica and Mandy. I actually really like Mandy. She confuses me a little bit. She's good, Angela. But I prefer Angela over Mandy. Not because she's better, because she's absolutely not. Mandy is far superior to Angela. But I kind of like a slow ball. And I know that's funny me saying that, considering Wendy has, what, 67 slow ball, I think? But Wendy's slow ball is actually pretty good. It catches people out because it's a bit of a funky pitch. I mean, Jessica Pamela is really solid. That vanilla balanced. Zenon, Molly, Liz. There's a lot of decent arm on this team. It's just a decently crafted team. 7.5. I feel like 7.5 is kind of the standard for just like a good setup team. DH34. Carlos, Alex, Fabian, Cowan, Kenny, Chris, Kathy, Kenny, Lisa. My issue with this team is, where's the threat? There's like no power on this team. The averages are making it seem a lot better than it is, but with this contact... Who did I give a 6.5 to? Bbol? Bale's team's better than this. No, hang on. No, whoa. Let's calm down. Do you know what? Sorry, DH. But I said this when I did our Scrim and I recorded the Scrim episodes. I just don't see where... I don't see where you're scoring from. I just don't see it. Fabienne's just going to get walked. She's a free speed, so... She's a paperweight. I just feel like she's a paperweight. Unless you verse someone who isn't smart enough to just walk her. But it's the Junior League. Everyone knows what they're doing. Fabienne's not going to see a ball. Unless you can get 2 on base. So if you can get Kenny and Kathy on base, then it's a bit more of an awkward point, right? But these two have to get on base. Kathy... Is Kathy your catcher? Because again, if Kathy's your catcher... Like, where's... defensively... I don't know. 6.5. That's all I can give it. Who's next? Oh, it's me. Right. So, we go on to me. Let's just do that. I'm just kidding. So this is the interesting thing, right? Because I said this in the Old Heads chat, and I stand by this. My team could have been an 8.5 before I traded Sarah Maxwell. So this is with Zenon. This team could have been an 8.5 or a 6.5. It could have been either. And it all comes down to who's using it. I'm not a very aggressive player. I don't score a lot of home runs. I'm very line drive, contact, get out in the field. And because of that, that team simply wouldn't have suited me. And I wouldn't have got the most out of people like Zenon. So, despite the fact that it could have been an 8.5 in the right hands, it's just not me. So I think trading for Sarah is better. Sarah defensively is fine. Kristen is fine. Ernie... Obviously, on steel, really solid. But when not on steel, just stick him at first. He's a 4 height. He'll be fine. And then Ahmed can go chill at third. His coordination's not bad. You can even stick him in the outfield if I'm feeling brave. It depends who I'm versing and what field we're on. But I know the eye's bad, but I could consider it. My issue with my team is stamina. Let's have a little look at the stam here. That's a problem. Right? That's a problem. But I don't steal a lot either. You watch any of my scrims, I'm not very proactive. I line drive and I move to the next base. It's very rarely I'll steal unless I know it's gone. And I mean know it's gone. If it's on the if it's on the other end of the field and I know the person running for it has like 30 armor, then I'll steal. But anywhere else, I don't take a lot of risks. I'm very safe. So, I only run when I need to, so I don't think this is a huge issue. Apart from that, it's fine. It's not incredible. but it's good for what I need it to be. So, it's getting a 7.5. It's not worth any more than that. Right, red. Bonds, Lowy, Anna, Moore. Ooh. What? Ooh, oh, whoa. Oh, I like this. Uh-oh. See, this is the bias, right? Because I feel like this team is also a very defensively leaning team. I like defensively leaning teams, so I'm generally going to find them to be better. Zoe, I don't know. Right, so red, Bowie's great, Lowy's great, Anna's great, Moore's. I can't get a lot out of Moore, but defensively I had no issues with Moore. Offensively, I didn't manage to get the most out of Blakely, but I pick... It's funny, because I say that, and yet I'll pick Blakely nearly every season. Every season, in fact. Yeah, because I traded her in Season 5. Traded for her in Season 5. So, Jordan is fine. He's a bit meh, but he's fine. Kimmy is Kimmy on Ekman. Outside of Ekman, stick her on third. She has enough arm that she'll be okay. She will drop, she will fumble now and again, but it's not the end of the world. And Nate's got big arms, stick Nate at catcher. Eight? Yeah, because look at the power, and it's such a good spread of power. The speed's not terrible. I mean, this team's better than mine, and I give mine a 7.5, so... Do I give us an 8.5? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Wally's another trade I did, because I love Wendy, so I was going to make that trade all day long. It could have been Sammy Sosa, and I still would have took that trade. I need Wendy. It's just one of those things. But if we're talking base runners, Wally is really good. Really good. And he's not terrible defensively either. Wally is just really good. Now, the more I look at Wally, the better of a player he looks. Do you know what, Let's get an 8.5. Pepper. We're nearly there. I know it's very long-winded, this one. Raul, Pablo, Samuel, Hillary, Whitney. Hillary a catcher. Problem is, I think it's a waste. Again, I don't like early catches. I think it's a waste. Stick Hillary in the outfield. Stick her at shortstop. Surely Hillary's at shortstop. Hillary's at shortstop. I mean, it could be Wowell, but then who's your outfielders? Arlene, Hillary, Middleton is your outfielders? And then PJ, Arlene, Pablo is your infielders? Whitney is your pitcher. But then you don't have a catcher. I kind of like the players. And I don't think Pablo is as bad as everyone says. He's a blunder machine. He's an absolute blunder machine. But I don't think he's as bad as people say. Some people will not take Pablo under any circumstances. And I'm like, he is probably one of the easiest people to home one with. Just because everyone is so familiar with him. And he's a 7-speed, so if he gets walked, he gets walked. Samuel and Hillary will have line drives. Pablo can get around the bases. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with this team. It's fine. I can't give it more than the average, though, so I'll give it a 7.5. I think that's what it is. It's fine. If your team is a 7.5, be perfectly happy with it. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's a well-constructed team. It's just not showing me anything amazing, right? That's what I think. Right, last one is Depp. This is the most Depp team I have ever seen. In fact, he has, for a couple of seasons now, unless I'm wrong, but I know he's definitely always had Maria. Because Maria puts in a hell of a performance. She really does. Every time I see Pink Maria, she always seems to put in a really good performance. Which I get, because look at how well-rounded these stats are. Like, this is insane. With 87 power, so she even has home run potential too. Like, Bluer, absolutely fine. Used her in Season 5. I like Bluer. The Webbers, I think, are boring as sin, but that doesn't mean that they're bad by any stretch. Lena is great. Colleen is great. They're Colleen a catcher. I know Lena's 100 arm, but I think Lena could go elsewhere and be more useful. Petra's one of them power ones. You know, she's a defensive liability, but it's fine. Someone has to be. Melissa and Diana. Melissa's fine. I had Melissa in Season 6 as my first baseman, and she did a perfectly fine job. She likes to wander, got the high aggression, but it's fine. It happens. And Diana's a bit mid, but I wonder who Depp pitches with. I assume Maria? Melissa can. Colleen can. Diana can. Actually, Diana as a pitcher is probably not a terrible choice. 94 stamp. 64 arm, 5 speed. It's not terrible. It's probably Maria, though. Yeah, this is a depth team. It's absolutely fine. This is a 7.5 because it's exactly just what Depp would build. So, that's it. That's it, guys. That is the review video for Season 7. Good luck, everyone. It's going to be very good. This league is going to be a lot closer than all the other leagues I've had so far. The SDL last season, there was definitely players who stand out as being above the level of the SDL, and there was definitely people who were showing that they weren't at that level yet. I don't have that issue with this group. Everyone here is here on merit. The little leaguers that have come up look at home in this league. You know. So I don't see anything wrong. As far as my predictions for who I think is going to win, I'll just quickly do it here. Let's say, keep in mind the brackets ain't up, so 4 people that make the semis. I think Char's there. I think Bloon's there. See, I would put Matt there, but I'm just not convinced by that team. I'm going to do something a little bit surprising here. I'm going to put Nick there. I think Nick's really going to show. And I'm going to put... I think it's got to be Stern, right? I think Stern has to be in that conversation too. I think Char, Bloon, Nick, Stern are your final 4. And I think the World Series... Let's just say Char versus Nick and Bloons versus Stern. I think Char beats Nick. God, Bloon versus Stern is hard. Oh my god. Stern? Yeah. So let's say we do that. Which leaves the World Series to be Char. Char versus Stern. And that is also very close. I think Stern wins this season. That's what I'm going to go with. We'll see. But that's just off the top of my head, really quick. I thought about it for like 2 minutes. That's what I'm going to go with. Right. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope nobody gets too salty. I hope you at least just kind of remember. It's my opinion. It's based off how I would use the teams and how I see the teams. Just, you know, take it for what it is. Everyone have good luck. Enjoy yourselves, Season 7. I will do my little league one, but I'm going to wait until the season has officially started. The reason being is because I want to get the sheets completely ready. I know on all the trades and the waivers and all that to go through, because I think Little League will trade and waiver a lot later on. They are trading a lot later on than the Junior League is, so I need to give them more time. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.